G'day everyone and welcome back to Baggers Podcast 25. I'm your host, Carlton Blues 25, and you are?
Louis from the Perth Blue Baggers pod.
So today we're hopping into episode 14. The boys are back in town and they're fit and firing. Well, I wouldn't say fit at this current moment in time, but we'll get into it right away where we got. Obviously, we've started training at Latrobe Uni in Bundoora, and while Icon Park gets renovated, apparently they're back either next Tuesday or today. So, boys might be back at Icon Park, and yeah, we're going to wrap up a bit of January and a bit of standout players, what's really been going on, who's been looking good. And yeah, let's just jump straight into it. Louis, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, so we'll start with the bad news, obviously, where we so the first news to come out in January was Sam Walsh's hammy injury. He should be all right according to reports before round one, but obviously you never want to have your preseason impacted because it affects your performance, especially early on. And then we got Nick Newman ruled out with this season with was it Achilles tear or something?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So that was very disappointing to see, unfortunately. These things happen. So we wish both of those two players all the best in their recovery. So now we need to find who can replace the big hole that Nick Newman leaves in the back line.
Yeah, we'll definitely be getting into that probably later on in this pod while we go to our standout players, and during that we'll probably talk about replacements of obviously Newey, and hopefully that's it for now. I haven't got too many days left of January, so it's been a rough January.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll just obviously, as you've said, we're back, and it's really exciting. Footy's not too far away. 44 more days until we take on Richmond at the G. And, it is February maybe 20 where we take on the Saints at Icon Park at 11 o'clock. We'll be definitely previewing that match of like who we want to see, what we want to see from the team, and what type of. It'll be interesting to see what brand of football we take into 2025.
22nd of February.
22nd, there you go.
So, and then the one against GWS is on the 28th of Feb at Manuka. So
right, okay.
Over in Canberra.
Bit of a travel during the pre-Community Series. Yeah. But we'll get straight into our standout players. I'm just writing down a list now, so would you like to kick us off with your standouts?
Obviously, going by reports, standout players at the moment in the training have been Adam Chera, who hasn't shown much from his soft tissue injuries. Elijah Hollins also has impressed recently, setting up goals in the high half forward, and also Orazio looked fit and sharp with some classy moments up forward as well.
Yeah, right. I've got about 6 players here that I think are showing some promising signs coming into the 2025 season. So I'll start off with our new recruit, Jagger Smith, looking very fit, very sharp, and very precise, with decision-making being elite and his work ability. So his running has probably kickstart his role in the midfield, looking like a really good player. Ball handling, pretty good. Footy IQ, apparently pretty good. And he's got his eyes set on round one, so you love his mindset. And honestly, I hope he does get to play round one. Obviously got if Sam Walsh doesn't get up, then that probably leaves a little door for Jagger Smith to fill. And even if Sam Walsh does play, Jagger Smith could still come in. So, next player I've got is Cooper Lord, coming back into some absolute shape. Like his muscle is crazy at the moment. He's had a big off season. He's a quiet smoky at the moment. Haven't heard much about him lately, but as soon as we got a little bit of pre-season news, the first bit of news we got was about Cooper Lord. So hopefully we have a better Cooper Lord this year. He was already, I think he won the might have been the fantasy against the Saints in his third game last year. He was on fire. My next one, same as you, Razio Fantasia, looks very fit. Firing up the forward line, kicking snags, which is always good to see. Hopefully we get to see a little bit more from Raz. He kind of disappointed a little bit last year. The late end of the year, he started to perform a little bit better, but hopefully his injuries do stay away and we get to see a fit and firing Raz. My next one is Jesse Motlock. Mott has been talking himself up a bit, which is always good to see. I love his mindset. And I haven't seen much highlights from him, but apparently he's running really well. A bit more, what's the word? I don't know, a bit more confidence about him. A bit more standout, which is always good to see. My next one is Adam Chera. He's penned a 5-year deal, so we can expect this year to be his year, hopefully, without any injuries like his soft tissue hamstrings and his calves, and I think he had something else go wrong. But he's looked very fit and firing. I went to Bundoora, Latrobe, or it might have been last Tuesday, I think, and my standouts were Adam Chera. That was my standout of the day. He just looked amazing. His running, his ball handling, kicking, handballing, just his footy IQ in general looked really good. And my last one's Elijah Hollins. He's been looking good up the half forward line, and hopefully we get to see him a bit more fit, a bit more firing, but we'll just see what happens. On to our prediction. Do you want to do predictions tonight, or do you want to do that in a separate podcast?
Separate pod.
Right. So at the moment we are. What have we got next? What have we got next to do?
Just quickly talk about replacements.
Okay.
For Nick Newman, and that's what we'll do.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we'll get on to our replacements now for Nick Newman. As you might be aware of my post on Insta, I made a post that took me about an hour to make. I know it doesn't look like it, but far out.
So did I.
Struggle and a half. Far out. So I got my replacement right now. I want you to go first because I have a fair bit to say about this bloke.
Well, first, the most experienced person in that sort of role is Sam Doherty, so they'll probably start with him first, just because it's stable choice, but they can easily mix players through there. Another option is Ollie Hollins, who was getting trialled there in the back half of last year. You also got Nick Haynes, who came in from the Giants, though he's more of probably an intercept and key defender. You got Lockie Cowan could also fill in that void, and so could Jordan Boyd. Alan Chincotta, but his influence early will be limited due to his hip injury, I think it was. And then you also got Jagger Smith, who you could try start his career off at halfback, or even Matt Cottrell and Horatio Fantasia for their run and carry.
Yeah. Well, This is going to sound weird, but I don't have any of them players as my replacement for Nick Newman. I actually have Mitch McGovern for his run and drive. I know he sounds like a bit of a key defender type scenario, but I think picking up Nick Haynes and his experience can replace Mitch McGovern. And I think Mitch McGovern's run and drive that he does bring off the half-back line could be a huge factor when he's fit and when he's healthy. If he's not fit and he's not healthy, to be honest, he's useless when he's not fit and healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my replacement, and I'm not fussed with any replacement, but I would like to see a bit of experience off the back line. I wouldn't like to see like a Jordan Boyd type person. It's the only person I don't really want to see.
No.
But I understand where the club will come from if they do choose Jordan Boyd to, fill that spot. But yeah, that's all.
You also one other name is Billy Wilson.
Yeah.
From reports, I've heard that he's really fast, so you might want to use him. We could give him a debut, but I think we'll try and go for as much experience as we can while we have the depth.
Yeah, sounds good. So, I'll just quickly go on to our next subject, which is podcast scenario. Obviously we've had our break off the off-season out for a month and a bit, but everything will be back to normal. We will do, I think our next podcast will be either Carlton prediction or it will be a ladder prediction. I'm not too sure. We'll just see how it pans out. Be a surprise for all the viewers out there. So we'll have a chat behind the scenes and see what we want to do. But other than that, things will start flying back into normal. If you are, I know we've got a guest coming on to preview the Saints game, the AAMI Community Series Saints game. So we'll see how we go this year with getting guests on and stuff like that. Last year we didn't want to do it since we were quite new to podcast platforms and stuff like that, but we'll see how this year pans out. I think there'll be a few weeks where we will get some guests on. Every 10 episodes we try to get a special guest, so we'll see how that pans out as well. I reckon I've got a few in mind. There's been a few emails sent out, but we'll see how everything flies. We got about, I think this is the 14th podcast, so we've got about 5 more podcasts to go until we really have to think about it. So, thank you everyone for listening again. I'm sorry there's been a lack of posting, but we needed a break. I think we did it for half the year, and then I don't know how we're going to go for the full year, but we will find a day to do it, and we'll try and bring as much content to you as possible. And that's about it from me anyway. With that little update, I'm sorry that we didn't post. If you were missing the pod, people need breaks, but that's all I've got to say. Thank you for. Have you got anything else to bring up for the pod?
Quickly?
Yep.
Not in the pod regards, but we did have 2 good news stories to come this month with Adam Chera and Adam Sard's contract extensions. So Adam Chera to 2030 and a 1-year extension for Adam Sard to 2026. So that was great to see.
It was. So January has provided some goods, and I think Sard will turn 31, something like that. So he might just keep going with the 1-year deals. He might push on the 2-year deals. Who knows? But Ches, on the other hand, he's about 25, I think. So that'll lock him in until he's 30, and then hopefully we are not on the rebuild stage by then. I'll see how we go.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you everyone for joining the podcast. My name is Carlton Blues 25, and you've just listened to Baggers Podcast 25. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, I'm joined by my co-host.
Louis from the Perth Blue Baggers Pod. Great to be on here again.
It is. Good to be back. And yeah, see you guys. Go Blues.